welcome back to the channel. Today we are in LA. We've got a super special video for you today. I've got Quality Marine behind me. This is literally the first and only time we've ever been inside of this place with a video camera. And even better yet, nobody else has either. This is such a big opportunity. Kevin Kohen, for those of you who don't know who Kevin Kohen is, he's like the guru of fish. I'm excited. He's inside waiting for us right now, and I really want to see what this place is about. Let's go see. What are we looking at, man?
So this is our reverse osmosis system for all of our corals here at Quality Marine. So we've got a water softener. We've got some carbon and resin tanks here. This tank here is an auto descaler that automatically descales the RO membranes. You know, the membranes are right here. It's got a 2 horsepower booster pump that forcibly pumps the water through these membranes. You know, an RO machine runs at its maximum efficiency at about 75 degrees. So fortunately, our water is pretty close to that. So this machine's really awesome. What the benefit of this is it actually has a recycle valve on it as well. So it will not only take the product and wastewater, but it'll take that wastewater and run it back through the membranes as well. Our water here at Quality Marine, we have a TDS inbound. It's about 325.
It's actually better than what we have.
It is. It's pretty impressive considering it's in Southern California.
Yeah.
It's really shocking. So outbound water, I mean, we'll run anywhere from 2 to 6 TDS. So, you know, it's a lot better than big, huge operations like ours that just are running, you know, carbon filtered tap water. So
these are what they call 4x40s, as opposed to your little 2x10.
Heck yeah.
Right?
And the 4x40s, what's great, this whole unit does about 7,800 gallons a day.
Yeah.
But what's cool is that you can actually stack on more membranes to these. So as we scale and our water usage gets to be greater, we can actually continue to build out by just adding more membranes.
So no DI resin.
No DI resin. That's something we're considering in the future. But right now, this is great for, you know, we're not maintaining corals in here for months or years at a time. You know, some of the frags in our broodstock, yeah, but primarily the sustainably harvested corals that we're bringing in through aquaculture and/or sustainable wild harvest. These corals are in here. We acclimate them, we adapt them to our LED lighting, and then they'll normally get shipped out in a week or two. So not really like your home.
6 is pretty good for no DI resin, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. And you know, water usage here is significant, right? So all the wastewater actually goes to our goldfish system for aquatropic. We have a division that we sell freshwater fish to a variety of retail stores across the country, as well as goldfish and koi. So we're really trying to be wise about our water usage and especially about our wastewater. So
you pay for it too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, great decision making, I'm sure.
Yeah, so this is the start here. I'll walk you through here next to our life support system and SCADA system. So Josh, this right here is our control system for everything that we have here at Quality Marine.
Fancy.
And it's called a SCADA system, and these are primarily used in public aquariums. But this not only monitors things like gallons per hour flow rates of the pumps, we can set minimum, maximum threshold to set up alarms that will know when a pump is failing. And it also monitors things like pH, ORP, redox potential, and some other critical water parameters. But what's really cool here at Quality Marine, and I'll show you here in a second, is we use pneumatic control for a lot of, for example, for our protein skimmers, our foam fractionators. Actually, we can adjust the water level automatically through this system. So the pneumatic system will actually adjust pneumatic valves either to lower the water level in the skimmer or raise it depending on the sensors that are in there. So like you guys, the more that you can automate, the more efficient, right? Your staff can be doing something else, like animal care or whatever that may be. So
there's a team that handles all of your system components, all your maintenance and water quality.
100%. So we've got a team of 5 people, and they're constantly doing maintenance or rebuilding pumps, or of course you know, utilizing this technology here to monitor and mitigate any issues that would come about. So,
I love it.
Really cool.
I think that's super wild.
Yeah, I know Neptune Apexes are like, you know, normal stuff, but this is like an Apex times 100.
Yeah,
So
this, definitely built for a purpose.
100%.
Yeah,
So
love
this is the lifeblood of the back end of our system. So.
Cool. Well, let's move on to the next
Well, let me
part.
take you into the filter room.
Wow.
So there's the pneumatic controls, like I was talking about, for the water level in the top of each skimmer.
Okay.
These
So
skimmers.
this is the valve that you're referencing?
That's correct. So that valve will automatically adjust based on the water height that's in the collection chamber of the skimmer. So, you know, obviously skimmers need set to be run at a maximum efficiency. So that's what that device is there. These two skimmers are for our corals and invertebrates. And then those 4 skimmers are for all of the fish systems on the main floor here.
And look at the difference in color of the skimming.
Oh yeah.
How wild is that?
The skimmers also have washdown units in the top. You can see those little spray bars up there. It not only washes down the center column of the collection chamber or the reaction chamber up top in the cup, but it also rinses out the outside as well. So we want to decrease the amount of maintenance that we're doing from a manual perspective.
It's a monster sump.
This is a massive sump, and I can open this crate. And this sump is 20 feet deep. And I believe it's about 18 feet front to back.
Okay.
And all the water that comes out of our coral systems actually flows through filter socks right here on that side of the sump. And then then it'll get pumped through the skimmers. The return pumps are actually behind in that area back there, which I'll take you to. But what's incredibly cool is you can see, here's some drain pipes. That's a 8-inch drain that's draining into our sump. And then the return pumps, like I said, are in the other room there. So water prep, you know, we use a lot of water just like you guys do. We use tropic marine sea salt. You know as well as I that there's so many things in what we do that we can't control, right? We can't control the weather. We can't control the airlines. We can't control overseas supplies sometimes due to inclement weather and other factors, right? But what we can control is things like consistent saltwater sea mix with tropic marine.
It's such a good message, Kevin. I talk about that a lot. If you look at the hobby in general, like whether you're keeping fish or whether you're keeping fish and corals, whatever the case, there's so many variables to get to that end result, which is a beautiful aquarium. Why worry about water? Like that should be a consistent and a non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
Right? Good quality RO water, good quality salt, and then everything else after that is your fault.
Yeah. And I'll take you into the lab too to show you how we test water and kind of some of the equipment that we use for water care as well. So, you know, that whole package, again, what we can control, we absolutely do. Which is just one variable we don't have to worry about.
Yeah, definitely a good message. I think that's something that all of our viewers should know right from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always good quality water, no matter what.
It's the foundation of reef keeping.
Yep.
So I'll walk you into here. It's super noisy in the pump room, but I'll show you how our biomedia in there, as well as all the pumps, how we mount the pumps, micron filters, etc. So what you see up here, these are actually micron cartridges, micron filters. So everything's running through a 5-micron pleated cartridge, and these get changed every 2 to 3 days. Depends on what system, how much detritus is in the system. You know, we use that SCADA system to assess the flow rate to change these. So
this is basically a gigantic pool.
Pretty much,
right?
With all our banks of pumps there on the wall. We also have, well, first off, way back there, that's our inbound water prep for all the water that comes into our building. So it runs through carbon tanks, it runs through some resin.
So that's where it starts in order to get to your RO over there. That's a secondary.
That's correct.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't tested the TDS of inbound water, but it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure it's a lot higher than what we looked at. So I think this is pretty ingenious too here. This is our bioreactors.
I was going to say denitrating tower, basically.
Yeah, this is our biological. You know, people come in here and they say, "Well, all you guys are doing is running water through a sump and then cartridges it." It's like, no, this is the biological filtration part for our two systems as well. So, you know, we like you guys, we densely pack a lot of our raceways with animals, especially during the busy season. But this really helps maintain, you know, perfect water chemistry for the animals that we have.
Is there a starting point with this? Do you culture it with a certain bacteria, or is that just something you let run its course?
Yeah, we initially inoculated these things with nitrifying bacteria, but these things are 15 years old now. They've definitely have accumulated a great diversity of nitrifiers in there. So
yeah, good stuff.
Really cool. We also use ozone. So those two massive tubes up there, those are cold spark corona discharge ozone generators. And as you know, what ozone does in aquarium settings is to immediately break up organic matter. And it will also add oxygen to the tank when it's doing that, or our systems, so we can maintain almost saturation of dissolved oxygen. But it will also help mitigate some parasites and bacteria and things like that too. So
do you find that there's any downside to the equipment damage with ozone?
Not at all. I mean, we have a high-low set point. So there, you use of course, you use a probe, an ORP probe, and you'll set a set point. We set the set points for inbound water coming into the skimmers, and then most importantly, the effluent that's coming out of it, because that's the most critical part. That you don't want residual ozone in your system, because that negatively impacts the animals. So as long as those things are running at maximum efficiency and you're keeping your set points at the proper range, it's 100% safe for your animals. I think for home hobbyists, what's important about ozone is it's kind of toxic to breathe. So
yeah, you don't want that in the air.
Not at all. You need to vent that out of your house if you're running it at home, or put carbon on top of your correction cup, because that residual ozone in the air is very dangerous to your lungs. So
yeah, I mean, you can buy an air quality monitor and set it right there next to it.
Absolutely. So this is our water chemistry and also our disease labs.
It's the Bible.
It is the Bible. Yeah, but you can tell it's well used, right? So yes, we've got, like I said, 5 on-staff biologists. They're constantly doing either water chemistry analysis. We're using our microscopes in here to, like I said, do skin scrapings, necropsies, biopsies, to really. You know, animal care is the backbone of quality marine, and it's critical that we have a standard that we maintain in here for our customers like you guys. And again, we got a great team of people in here, super dedicated, passionate. Yeah, it's really cool. Not a lot of people are allowed to be in here, so
I know
you guys are getting
very privileged.
You guys are getting kind of like the behind the scenes tour here. So, Alan, what is this again? Is this a
So these are some Artemia that we are hatching. We're looking at the different life stages of the hatches so that we can go ahead and supplement our coral, our feeds, and some of our aquaculture fish.
And these are the cysts?
Yes, these are the cysts that they hatched out of, and these are our third stage nauplii.
Real active they are.
Yeah, no, they're moving around a lot. So we also enrich them with phyto and things like that. So we kind of look at just seeing how they're doing, how the batches are looking at, take a small group and work on it. So
you love your job?
Love it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, food enrichment here is a significant protocol as well. You know, we're bringing fish in that have been harvested sustainably overseas. It's important that we get those fish conditioned back up as quickly as possible. So, we use conventional foods like gamma mysis shrimp and gamma brine shrimp, but we also enrich those foods with things like sulfon and some other things to make sure that there's enough amino acids and fatty acids in the food so that we can get these fish snapped out of that shipping stress and really adapted quickly to their new environment. So
I love that message. I mean, for anybody that watches our channel, I think that there's a certain group of us who really genuinely care about sustainability and better practice and things like that, because a wholesaler can be easily looked at as a bad thing, right? But the fact that you guys care enough to take care of the animal the way that you do is spectacular.
It's all about passion. And I think when we were on the podcast, we were talking about passion, and you know, that's the foundation of what we do here.
Yep.
So you got to find the right people, and I think we absolutely have a great group of people here. So
Love it. I really appreciate you showing us.
yeah, absolutely. So we were talking about sea salt earlier. So here's Tropic Marin. These are actually commercial sacks that we use. They're not for resale, but yeah, we go through a lot of salt here. So
do these bags allow for any moisture?
they're a little bit hygroscopic, but unless you're storing this for a year or 2 years, no, it's got a liner inside of this bag.
Okay.
So for anybody that has a store that's using Tropic Marin commercial salt for in-store use, unlike a 200-gallon mixed bucket, you need to mix up the entire bag of salt at the same time. You know, you get stratification of salt, of chemicals in the shipping buckets. It absolutely happens with these bags of salt. It happens with any salt. So it's just important that we mix up the entire bag at one time. So.
You guys definitely go through a lot of salt, more than us.
Yeah, we've got containers of salt in our dry goods warehouse. So
awesome.
Well, what you're seeing behind me is actually our acclimation room. So this is how fish and corals come into this building, and we start the process here. So we have 136 suppliers, 130 suppliers from 36 different countries. 36 different countries.
Wow.
So we're constantly, of course, bringing in shipments from a variety of supply chains. And we've worked really hard over the years to vet out and work with and supply equipment and so forth to our good supply partners. And it's a partnership. It's not a transactional thing. So a lot of our suppliers have gone back 3 to 4 decades is how long we've been collaborating with these folks.
Can you explain a little bit about the idea of short supply chain?
100%. So, there's many supply chains around the world, and some have a very, very long supply chain because there's a ton of remote islands everywhere, right? And then there's some middlemen and brokers and things like that. Primarily in Indonesia and the Philippines are a little bit longer supply chains for a lot of companies. We deal with a few really great companies that are a lot shorter supply chain. Traceability is incredibly important to us. It should be incredibly important to your customers as well, because that's where some gray areas could be in place if those supply chains are really long. A great example is our Fiji station in the South Pacific. So we not only supply all of the equipment, nets, dive gear, everything else, but also training. And we'll also visit those stations very, very frequently.
That's important, the training part, right?
Absolutely. And unlike a lot of supply chains, we actually tell our Fiji station that this is exactly what we need. We don't want them going out and harvesting whatever they can catch. Right. It's very, very specific, and it's very, very well managed. So, we don't want obligate corallivore butterflies. We want a solid, good coral beauties, bicolors, lemon peels, green chromas, Squama pennisantheus. Those are all great, great fish, especially from that Fiji station. And we actually list these fish as SSC, as short supply chain fish from those locations. So if you're on our stock list, you're looking to order fish, look for the SSC. Additionally, years ago, we still follow the Marine Aquarium Council, the MAC certification program. Unfortunately, that program no longer exists, but our company and our suppliers, like in Fiji, still follow the MAC protocols. And that's the protocols for proper capture, proper harvest, proper handling, proper holding, proper shipping, and traceability. We know when the fish was caught. We pretty much know who caught the fish, the diver, when it went back to the collection station, when it got purged there, when it got shipped here. and then eventually when we sell it. So I'll show you our traceability labels that we use in here. And last part of all of that is for consumers like, hey, I want to know this stuff. Like, how can I, as a reef hobbyist, know that I'm getting a short supply chain fish? So we actually send out tank tags, which is an option for anybody who orders from Quality Marine that has a QR code. And a consumer can actually scan that QR code, and it will not only tell about the fish's husbandry and care and so forth, but it details all the dates through the entire supply chain. So you'll know this coral beauty I just bought from you guys in your store, and I scan that QR code, I know the entire traceability of that animal. But what you see back here is actually our acclimation tables. So since I said that we have 36 countries that we're importing, 130 suppliers, it's not uncommon for us to bring in 6 shipments simultaneously from different supply chains.
And all through the night and all through the day, right?
Correct, yeah. All through
the flights land when they
all
land.
through the night. Yeah, usually towards the end of the week it slows down a little bit. So there's nobody operating now, but there's a ton of flights coming in that these tables are gonna be packed here.
Can you go through a little bit of that process at all?
Absolutely. So if you see these bulk storage tanks back here, you'll see that there's 6 tanks.
Okay.
So this
and you just have tanks and tanks and tanks.
Oh yeah, we have water holding tanks everywhere. But these are super important because when we're bringing in fish from overseas, depending on how long they've been in the bags, it's not uncommon for fish to come in here at 6.5 pH, right?
Yeah, super low, right?
Yeah, super low pH. We don't know the temperature. So what we do is we actually test the water in some random bags, and we'll assess what is that pH value of our inbound shipment. What's the temperature? What's the specific gravity?
And it has to be an average, right?
Yes, it's an average, but we'll actually mix up brand new tropic marine seawater and adjust the pH of this water, adjust the
Instead of
specific
going
gravity
the
of
other
the
way
water.
around.
100%. And we'll cut the shipment, and then we'll actually flush out the shipping water on those acclimation tables with the exact same parameters, but no ammonia, which is the most critical factor of all of that. Once the fish have been flushed out on these tables, then they get turned over to our system water. So we flush the shipping water.
And off gases.
Off gas them, and then it'll start to adjust and acclimate to the water that they're going to be housed into.
So that's something that maybe you want to mention. You said no ammonia, right? But at that low of a pH, that ammonia is not super terrible. Is that correct?
A lot of people don't understand that. That's 100% correct. So on the pH scale, you know, marine aquariums are usually 7.9 to 8.4 pH, depending on your reef tank, and a lot of criteria that influences that. But when fish are shipped and they're producing waste in the bag, and they're giving off CO2, that's actually dropping down the pH of the water. And when pH drops below 7.0, which is neutral, toxic ammonia converts into what's called ammonium, and that's not nearly as toxic to the fish. So people that take these low pH fish and acclimate them with an air stone into high pH water, you're immediately taking that ammonium that is not nearly as toxic. It converts into ammonia and it burns the fish's gills like crazy. And that is the most detrimental thing for animal care and animal welfare. So,
is it equally as bad to take that fish and quick acclimate it, chop it and drop it?
Yeah, I think for your customers, I think that's a good strategy. I think for what we do here is completely different when we're bringing in big shipments from overseas, some of which have been in the bags for 24, 30 hours, 36 hours. But if I walk into your store as an aquarist and I live close to your Orlando store, yeah, I would float my fish in my quarantine tank, sealed. Don't open the bag. Let the temperature get equalized. And assuming the fact that specific gravity is not too far off, I would capture I'd pick the fish up with my hand and gently set it in your quarantine tank.
Everybody's gonna go, what?
Yeah, but again, you guys are keeping your tanks at probably 8.0 pH.
Yeah.
They're the normal reef aquarium parameters. And taking it back home, 15 minutes away to your house, completely different. Again, as long as there's not
the salinity would be the big thing.
A huge specific gravity change. That's important.
How long does it take you to modify the pH in these barrels?
It's quick. It's about 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's just CO2 injection.
And some other things
Mostly.
too. Yeah. So it's a quick process.
So there's bigger tubes here and then 2 smaller tubes on those. What's the difference?
Yeah, so the bigger tubes there are primarily for our creepy crawlers, right? Our tank cleaners, things like that.
Okay.
Snails, hermit crabs. You know, you guys receive a lot of different snails and hermits. Oftentimes they're not shipped in a lot of water. So, you know, we want to flush that water out pretty quickly.
Smells really bad usually, right?
Yeah. Where the other tables, you can see the different colored lines there.
Yep.
Those are for either the prep water that we have to flush, or they're actually for our system water. So
Cool.
I think the last thing I want to show you guys is behind us. This is our isolation / treatment system. So, you know, everybody experiences problems, unfortunately, at times with animals in your store or in here as well. So we want to get those fish off the floor. We want to provide the proper care to them, whether it's through freshwater dips, whether it's through Presiquantrol or whatever that may be, to keep those fish isolated from what's on the floor. When fish get pulled off, they're documented by date. They've got logs in the lab there of like what medications we're using or what steps we're taking to mitigate problems. So, well, let me take you out here and show you a tank tag, kind of how we're tracking the fish. This is actually our pack out table. So what happens is, you know, our fulfillment team is actually obviously picking orders, put them in these plastic totes here.
Okay.
When we talked in the back room about mixing or sending out fish in brand new water, that's what these lines are here. So this right here is fish water. This is invertebrate water, and I believe that's just fresh water there. So, but again, we're shipping these animals out in brand new water. So we'll take these tank tags here. I was mentioning before we have what's called tank tags. Yep. And everything is actually inventoried precisely of the quantities that we have in stock, what the common and scientific name of the animal was, what its SKU number is, and what vendor it comes from. So these numbers mean something to all of us in here. Sure. So that we can track these animals, like I said, regardless of where they go in the building, this tank tag follows this coral right here. So
how many orders do you send out in a day on average?
Mondays are a huge fulfillment day here, and then it tapers off through the week. But I mean, it's not uncommon to ship well over 1,000 orders in a day. So.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot.
And again,
that's why you have so many people. You said 120, right?
120 people. But we have an entire freshwater building, which is next door. That, you know, freshwater is a huge business as well.
It's bigger by volume, right?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of freshwater work going out too. So
yeah.
But let me walk you up one of these rows here. So every row is filtered by not only our skimmers and our biological filtration, our mechanical filtration, and ozone, but also 880 watts of UV per row. And what's unique about the design of our system is every single compartment has its own drain and its own return. So this water doesn't mix through, like rows of cubes, for example. So that if a disease outbreak happened, it would be isolated into that one compartment, or this one tank right here. So you can see we do mix a variety of fish in tanks that are compatible with each other. We'll utilize isolation cubes. The most challenging part for us here is to make sure the fish are actually segregated for fish that are territorial or aggressive towards themselves. So, you know, we don't want to put a bunch of Cirrolabrus wrasse together and have the terminal face male just beat up all the other fish and chip them up. Then they're unsellable then. So it's important that we isolate as many fish as possible.
That's a process in itself. That's probably a whole team of people that manage compatibility and placement, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a really good acclimation team. They've been doing this for some of them for several decades. So yeah, they really know about, you know, what animals to mix together and what not. So
it's important. I'm sure there's an argument to this that, oh, that's unfair, that fish is in a little cup. But now let that fish out with all the rest of those and tell me that that's fair.
No, it's not fair at all. We want to isolate these fish. Centropyge angelfish are incredibly territorial towards themselves. Those fish would just shred each other.
You love that genus, don't you?
I do. They probably shred each other in like 15 minutes. So, you know, again, we want to make sure when you get a flame angel from us that it's been inspected.
Well, look at them.
Secondly,
He's picking on the bottom of the cup.
oh, absolutely. Now we've got actually little feeding holes in the top of the cup so that we can go around and make sure these fish are very, very well fed after we pack out.
Yep.
Do a couple rounds of feeding and then get ready for the next day. So
good stuff. What else you got?
let me take you over to the corals. So similar to your farm, we sell WYSIWYG corals as well for our customers. We not only have SKUs for specific animals, like for example, these rock flower anemones,
Okay.
but for corals as well that are in some of these other raceways. But this here is our WYSIWYG section. Everything's labeled and marked to be tracked. Behind me is invertebrates, as well as aquaculture corals, shrimps, crabs, things like that.
So all of your flow is linear.
Yeah, correct. It's just a laminar flow in one way. So we designed these 3 decades ago. So anemones, as you well know, they're pedal based and their foot will stick super hard to something. And it's so easy to damage them when you're trying to remove them and put them in a shipping bag or sell them to one of your customers. So we use this indoor outdoor carpet. It's inert, and we can easily get these anemones off of their base undamaged for our customers. So, well, let me take you guys into our algae lab so you can see our phytoplankton that we grow, not only for resale under the Nutrimar brand, but also for use here and to feed our copepods and support our aquaculture program here.
Okay.
All right, so welcome to the Nutrimar Foods Algae Lab. So yeah, we grow 4 strains of phytoplankton or microalgae.
Wow.
And you know, this is great. We sell them under the Nutrimar brand and we use them here. So, you know, Quality Marine, we firmly believe that if we're gonna sell a product, that we're using that product, and we firmly believe in how it was manufactured, what value it has to animals that we have in our care. So yeah, the 4 strains of algae that we're growing not only support you guys or whomever to feed their reef tanks and filter feeding invertebrates, but also to support our copepod production and our
I
production
didn't think about that.
of demersal and pelagic aquacultured fish that we produce. So that's why we need this much algae. Yeah, and it's great that we can get this super clean, super sterile algae to our customers as well. So
Are those fiberglass?
I think the polycarbonate, they're like a clear poly. Actually, they do feel kind of like fiberglass.
It almost looks as if it is.
Yeah.
What are these graduations here?
The graduations are the density of the algae that's actually within the cylinder. So you don't want the algae to get so dense that it crashes the cultures. So we can maintain the proper density of algae in the system, or each cylinder rather.
I feel like a nerd right now. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool. Well, hey Josh, I want to thank you for coming to Quality Marine. You know, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I think you and I have been friends for a long time, and I always enjoy our conversations, whether they're on camera or off. And you know, it was so great that you guys could come here, really feature what we do great at Quality Marine. You can see that we're all super proud here of what we do, and you know, we're here to support your business in the best way that we can. So
You know, Kevin, I've looked up to you for so many years, and it's super cool to hear you say that. The fact that I'm here talking to you on video about what you do here is epic for me. So
it's a two-way street, man.
I couldn't be more happy to be here. That was a heck of a tour. They have a lot going on here. There's so many people, there's so many moving parts. What they do is really top notch. Kevin and the team, very accommodating. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave us comments in the section below. Hit the notification bell so that you know when we're posting our videos, and we'll see you next time.